If you want truly strong and well-defined arms, you need to train both your biceps and triceps with the same intensity. The problem is that many people focus only on the biceps, thinking it's responsible for arm size, when in reality, the triceps make up about 70% of the total volume. So if you want those big, imposing arms, you need to work both muscle groups in a balanced way. And for that, there's nothing better than two of the most effective exercises for this purpose: the hammer curl and the parallel bar dip. Biceps. Hammer curl. If you want well-developed biceps and thicker-looking arms, the hammer curl needs to be part of your workout. This exercise is different from the traditional bicep curl because instead of holding the dumbbells with your palms facing up, you hold them in a neutral position with your thumbs pointing forward. This small adjustment makes a big difference because in addition to working the biceps, it activates the brachialis and brachioradialis muscles, which are essential for adding more volume to the arm. The brachialis, for example, is located right below the biceps, and when developed, it pushes the biceps up, creating a wider and denser arm appearance. Now, before simply grabbing the dumbbells and lifting them any way you want, pay attention to proper execution, because that's the detail that makes all the difference. First, stand with your feet shoulder width apart, holding a dumbbell in each hand with your arms extended at your sides. Your grip should be neutral, meaning your thumb should be pointing forward. Now, without swinging your body, bend your elbows and lift the dumbbells to shoulder height. Don't push your elbows forward or lean your torso backward, as this shifts the tension away from the biceps and onto your back. Once you reach the top of the movement, lower the dumbbells slowly, feeling the muscle fully stretch before starting the next rep. Now, let me tell you about the most common mistakes I see people making in the gym when doing this exercise. The first mistake is using the wrong weight. If you're lifting too heavy and have to swing your body to lift the dumbbells, it means you're compromising form and not properly engaging the biceps. Reduce the weight and perform the movement with control. The second mistake is not lowering the dumbbells completely, meaning stopping halfway down. Many people think this keeps more tension on the muscle, but in reality, it limits the stretch and activation of the brachialis. The third mistake is performing the movement too quickly without controlling the descent. If you simply let the dumbbells drop on the way down, you're missing one of the most important phases of the exercise, the eccentric phase. Triceps. Parallel bar dip. If you want truly massive triceps that fill out your shirt sleeves, you need to include the parallel bar dip in your workout. This exercise is one of the best because it allows you to use your own body weight, creating an extremely effective stimulus for muscle growth. Additionally, it also strengthens the shoulders and chest, making it one of the most complete movements for the upper body. To perform this exercise correctly, grip the parallel bars with your hands, aligned with your body and your arms fully extended. Now, lower yourself slowly until your elbows form a 90-degree angle, keeping your torso as upright as possible to focus more on the triceps. Then, push yourself back up, fully extending your arms at the top. The key here is total control of the movement, no rushing, so you can feel the triceps activation throughout the entire execution. Now, pay attention to the most common mistakes that can compromise the effectiveness of this exercise. The first mistake is letting your elbows flare too far out, which reduces triceps engagement and puts more strain on your shoulders. The second mistake is lowering yourself too quickly and without control, which can put stress on your joints and increase the risk of injury. The third mistake is not fully extending your arms at the top, which reduces muscle activation and prevents full triceps development. If you're just starting out and find this exercise difficult, don't worry. You can use a bench for support, performing the movement with your feet on the ground to reduce the load, or you can try the assisted dip machine, Gravitron, which decreases resistance and allows you to learn the technique before progressing to the bodyweight version. Now, if you've already mastered the movement and want to make the exercise more challenging, you can try some variations. The first option is to use a dip belt with weight plates to add resistance, increasing the exercise's intensity even further. Another interesting variation is performing dips with a narrower grip on the parallel bars, which places even more emphasis on the triceps. No matter which option you choose, the parallel bar dip is an essential exercise for building strong and massive triceps. And when combined with the hammer curl for biceps, you ensure a well-balanced arm workout that maximizes muscle growth. If there's one thing that makes a difference in both the aesthetics and strength of your body, it's having a well-defined chest and wide, powerful back. There's no point in having big arms if your torso doesn't match their development. Many people think that the only way to build a big chest is by doing heavy bench presses, but there's an often overlooked option that can be just as effective: the close grip push-up. In addition to intensely activating the chest, this This exercise also works the triceps and improves muscular endurance. Now, when it comes to back training, one of the most complete exercises you can do is the bent over barbell row. This movement is essential for developing both thickness and width, ensuring that sought after V shape. Chest. Close grip push-up. A lot of people think push-ups are a basic exercise, something only beginners do. But the truth is that when done correctly, the close grip push-up can be just as challenging and effective as the bench press. This exercise is one of the best ways to strengthen the chest without needing any equipment, as it intensely activates the muscle and improves endurance. Additionally, since it's a bodyweight exercise, it also engages core stability and enhances coordination between different muscle groups. The difference between a traditional push-up and a close grip push-up lies in hand placement. Instead of keeping them shoulder width apart, you position them closer together, usually in line with the lower chest. This increases chest activation and puts a lot more demand on the triceps, making the movement even more challenging. Now, let's go over the correct execution. Start in a standard push-up position, with your feet together or slightly apart for better balance. Place your hands slightly closer than shoulder width, keeping your elbows close to your body. Now, lower yourself slowly until your chest nearly touches the ground, maintaining a straight spine and keeping your core engaged the entire time. Then, push against the floor with force to rise back up, feeling your chest and triceps contract at the top of the movement. Now, let me tell you the most common mistakes I see people making with this exercise. The first is letting the hips drop, which reduces chest engagement and can cause lower back pain. The second mistake is not lowering all the way down, performing only half the movement and limiting muscle stimulation. The third mistake is flaring the elbows too much, which shifts focus from the chest to the shoulders and increases the risk of injury. If you want to make this exercise more challenging, you can try a few variations. The first option is doing push-ups with elevated feet, which increases upper chest activation. Another option is using a weighted vest or placing a weight plate on your back to add resistance. Now, if you're just starting out and find the exercise difficult, you can do the knee-supported version or use a bench to reduce the load. Now that we've covered the chest, let's move on to one of the most important exercises for building a wide and strong back, the bent over barbell row. Back. Bent over barbell row. If you want a truly dense and wide back, you need to include the bent over barbell row in your workout. This exercise targets the lats, traps, rhomboids, and lower back, making it essential for building upper body strength and stability. Additionally, since it's a compound movement, it activates multiple muscle groups at the same time, helping improve performance in other exercises like deadlifts and even bench presses. The bent over row is one of the most complete back exercises, but it's also one of the most commonly performed incorrectly. Many people go too heavy and compromise their posture, putting excessive strain on their lower back and shoulders, which can lead to injuries. Now, pay close attention to proper execution. Grab the bar with a shoulder width grip using a pronated grip, palms facing down. Slightly bend your knees and lean your torso forward, keeping your back straight and core engaged. Now, pull the bar toward your abdomen, squeezing your back muscles at the top of the movement, then lower it slowly, feeling the muscle stretch fully before starting the next rep. Now, let's talk about common mistakes. The first mistake is rounding the back during the movement, which overloads the lower back and increases injury risk. The second mistake is using the biceps to pull the bar instead of engaging the back, reducing the exercise's effectiveness. The third mistake is not controlling the descent, simply dropping the weight, which prevents full muscle engagement. Legs and glutes. Bulgarian split squat and hip thrust. If there's one thing that separates a truly strong physique from an average body, it's the development of the legs and glutes. You might have a broad upper body and big arms, but if your legs are weak and underdeveloped, it will compromise your overall aesthetics and, even worse, your performance in training. Strong legs are essential for overall strength, balance, and power, while the glutes, in addition to enhancing athletic performance, play a crucial role in preventing lower back pain and improving posture. Many people believe that doing traditional squats alone is enough to build strong legs and glutes, but that's far from the truth. The Bulgarian split squat and the hip thrust are extremely effective exercises that specifically and intensely target these muscle groups, delivering faster and more efficient results. Bulgarian split squat. The Bulgarian split squat is one of the most complete exercises for legs and glutes because, in addition to working the quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes, it also requires balance and coordination. Since it's a unilateral movement, it helps correct muscle imbalances between the legs and improves core stability. To perform it correctly, stand in front of a bench or platform at a distance where you can comfortably rest the top of your back foot on it. Keep your torso upright, and holding dumbbells or just using your body weight, lower yourself slowly until the knee of your back leg almost touches the floor. The knee of your front leg should form a 90-degree angle without going past your toes. Then, push yourself back up, squeezing your glutes at the top of the movement. Now, pay attention to the most common mistakes. The first mistake is placing your back foot too far or too close to the bench, which can compromise stability and muscle activation. The second mistake is leaning too far forward, which reduces the focus on the quadriceps and puts excessive strain on the lower back. The third mistake is not going low enough, limiting muscle engagement and range of motion. If you want to increase the difficulty, you can use dumbbells or a barbell to add weight. Another great variation is performing the movement with a deficit by placing your front foot on an elevated platform to increase the range of motion and further engage the glutes. Hip thrust. If you want strong and well-defined glutes, the hip thrust needs to be in your workout routine. This exercise activates the glutes much more intensely than the squat because it allows for a greater range of motion and isolates this muscle group. Additionally, it also strengthens the hamstrings and lower back, improving posture and helping prevent pain in the area. To perform it correctly, sit on the floor with your upper back supported on a sturdy bench or box. Roll a barbell over your hips and place your feet on the ground, shoulder width apart. Now, drive your hips upward, squeezing your glutes at the top of the movement. Make sure your body forms a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Then, lower yourself slowly, feeling your glutes stretch before repeating the movement. The most common mistakes in this exercise include not fully extending the hips, which prevents full glute activation, using excessive weight without control, and placing the feet too close or too far from the body, which can reduce proper muscle engagement. To increase the difficulty, you can use a resistance band around your knees to enhance glute activation, or try the single leg version, performing the movement with one leg at a time to add an extra stability challenge.